Good morning, everybody. How you doing today? My name's Andrew.
I'm Daniel.
I'm Kelly.
I'm Pop.
I'm Matt.
And we're some of the Veggie boys.
And girls.
And we'd like to thank you for stopping by. If you're new here, please consider subscribing because we can grow a lot of stuff on the farm, but one thing we can't grow is this channel without your help. Girls are loud today. Welcome back, everyone. It's so nice to have you on this breezy day. We had a little bit of a scare last night with temperatures. It got down to 40 degrees here locally in Northeast Pennsylvania. Now, although the forecast is saying that's going to be the coldest temperatures that we will see throughout the week, the temperatures are still going to be relatively low, so we're going to have to keep a close eye on things. Now, thankfully, everything that we've got planted out in the fields can handle this type of weather. We did have some stuff up in front of the farm market that did get hit pretty hard. We had some basil and we also had some eggplant that just looks awful. So what we're gonna do is move that into a greenhouse for now, see if it's gonna come back. For this morning, we've already got a lot accomplished. We got the farm market set up, we got the greenhouses all taken care of, and now we're just getting animals fed. Chickens are done, and we're just feeding the cattle. Animals are now all taken care of, so we no longer have to worry about that. I just want to show you really quickly on these greenhouses. Normally in the morning, they're all completely opened up, but as you can see, we've got the front doors closed and we've got the sides rolled down. Now the real feel is still in the 30s for this morning, and for these plants that we've got, growth right now is very, very important, so we need to keep our greenhouses on the warmer side. You can see, even though it's chilly outside, our peppers are getting to the point where they're almost ready to transplant, and that's exciting, but it's concerning with the cold. Here in greenhouse number 5, our temperature at this point is 75 degrees. And for the growing conditions that we need, that's right on point. We actually might be able to open up the fronts here in a minute because it is a little toasty. In greenhouse number 5, we talked about our peppers a lot, but one thing we haven't really talked about is our tomatoes. Right here are some plum tomatoes. They're looking amazing. And then over here we have a few more plum. You can see they're a little on the younger side. And then on the opposite side of these plum tomatoes, those are actually eggplant. Every single day we're seeing more and more growth, which is exciting because with this growth, we're one step closer to transplanting out in the fields. And as a matter of fact, we're taking a big step to that transplanting goal today. Well, the cooler weather definitely isn't keeping people away today. Well, what do you guys think? It looks pretty good, doesn't it? Now, I know what a lot of you are thinking. How'd you get started on this job without us? And truth be told, we were just ironing out the kinks. We were trying to make sure everything runs smoothly, and it ran so smoothly that we decided to do a whole bunch of rows. But don't worry, you guys know we do a lot of transplanting here on the farm, so we're gonna need to lay many, many beds of mulch. A quick explanation as to how this implement works. It is a pull behind mulch layer. Now, a lot of people will call this plastic, and that's what you can call it. It's basically a bedding mulch. Now, the thing that's very interesting about this particular plastic or mulch that we're using, the main ingredient is cornstarch, which makes it highly biodegradable. And what this machine will do as we pull it out through the field, we have these 2 plows here at the front that will make a bed, and then the metal pieces underneath will form the bed into what we see over here. As the machine is pulled out through the field and the bed is made, the plastic is ran through some pulleys that is then pulled tight. And the whole time that this is taking place, up here, we have a drip line that is fed underneath the biodegradable mulch. Now, the only thing about the drip line is that is not biodegradable, so at the end of the year, we do have to pull all that stuff out. And believe me, that job can be a pain, but it's very, very important. What that drip line under the mulch allows us to do is irrigate at any time that we want. And due to the drip line being under the mulch, during our hottest points of the year, the water won't evaporate because it's under the mulch and it's being directly fed onto the roots of the plant. It definitely is a beautiful sight behind me. This is a very, very important job, and I'm happy to share it with you today. For those that have never seen this job, what Daniel and I are going to be doing is we're going to be standing at opposite ends, and when the mulch layer goes out through the field, our job is to, one, put the mulch into the soil and make sure that the drip line is nice and stationary. And then the other thing that we're going to be doing is when the mulch layer gets to the end of the row, we have to cut the mulch, and we also have to cut the drip line and make sure everything is nice and secure. We just put on a new line of drip tape, so we have to make sure that it got fed properly into the tube. And now it's underneath and we're good to go. Man, that is a beautiful sight. I look forward to this job every single year because it helps me to appreciate that we're one step closer to planting time. Once we get this mulch in the ground, that's basically the last step before planting. Now, we have a unique planter that we use to get all of this mulch planted. It's called a water wheel transplanter. It's a pull behind planter with two large water tanks on it, and it has this metal drum on it with spikes that spins. And as you go out through the field, it pokes holes in the mulch, it adds a little bit of water, and then we can put the plant right into the soil. Now, with the weather we've been having, I don't think we're gonna be using it anytime soon, but we've got some plants back in the greenhouse that are looking really nice, so it won't be too long. You can plant basically anything with the water wheel transplanter. What we mainly plant is a lot of our cucurbits, so our pickling cucumbers, regular cucumbers, zucchini. We'll also do some watermelon and cantaloupe, honeydew if we have it this year. And probably the biggest thing that we focus on is tomatoes and peppers. Now, what's neat about the peppers is we actually put two metal drums on the planter, so we poke twice as many holes. With the tomatoes, we only use a single drum because we want to make sure there's plenty of spacing. The biodegradable mulch does so many different things for us. Probably the two most important things is, one, it helps to keep weeds down, and two, it helps to warm up the soil. So even on these colder days, when we do have stuff transplanted into the soil, this plastic, because of the color of it, heats up the bed. So the biomulch absorbs a lot of the sunlight, it heats the bed, and it gives the plants a better opportunity to grow. Now, the drip line being underneath it, that's just an added benefit. That's one of the things that really helps us to produce really, really nice crops. So this area that we've got in front of us today, the goal is to get as much mulch laid as possible so we can prepare ourselves for the future. Every 6 rows that we do, we like to make a road to make it a lot easier on ourselves when it comes to harvest time. It's just so much easier not having to carry the crops to the end of the field. We can just carry it to the roads and then drive through and pick it up. To give you an idea of what's gonna be here, our first row of mulch all the way down there are gonna be our large pumpkins. We're also gonna be doing some early butternuts and acorn squash. As we continue down through the field, we're gonna have some watermelons, cantaloupes, and honeydews here. And then we're gonna be moving into our cucumbers, zucchini, pickling cucumbers, and our yellow squash. On the opposite end of this road, we're gonna be doing 3 more rows of pickling cucumbers, and then we're gonna be moving on to peppers. Now, the reason why I'm telling you this is because we have to keep in mind something important. Our drip line underneath the mulch, we're gonna have to move where it's laid once we move on to the peppers. When we're laying the mulch for stuff like pickling cucumbers and pumpkins, what we're gonna do is drive right down through the middle, so we have to move our drip line to either side of the middle. Now, when we're doing the peppers, we have 2 rows that go out through, so we wanna make sure our drip line is right in the middle. So once we get finished off with the pickling cucumbers, we've gotta adjust that line, and then we're good to go again. When it comes to this job, funny enough, there is a lot to think about. You need to keep in mind what you're gonna be planting here. Now, even though it's not too difficult of a job, it does require a lot of thinking. We're now moving our drip line to the middle. As I had mentioned before, we're gonna be moving on to the rows that we're gonna be doing for peppers. All set?
All set.
It looks like it's laying pretty nice.
Beautiful. Look at, no rocks. We had a crisis yesterday. They put a rock on the drip tape so we don't lose the drip tape underneath there to hold it. We couldn't find 2 rocks anywhere. It took us 25 minutes to find 2 rocks. We had to actually walk all the way over to the rock pile to get 2 rocks. Good crisis. All right.
The worst time to do this job is when it's been really, really dry. Thankfully, we've had enough moisture that we don't just have a giant dust cloud among us. You can see that we still have some moisture in the soil, but it's not too much that everything is clumping. This is just right. Okay, we need another roll of mulch. Ugh. It's a good thing we got that roll of mulch put onto the back of the machine. Dad got about 3/4 of the way and then he ran out. So Daniel and him just switched in the new roll and we're on our way again. We've been making some really good progress. We just about have this field that we're in all finished. Something that's really just started is the wind has picked up quite a bit. It was windy this morning, but nothing like it is now. We've got a brief moment where it's not blowing too hard, but those trees are moving pretty good. This job can get pretty difficult when it's windy. If we get wind under that mulch, it can actually blow it off, and then we'd have to shovel the soil back onto it. And if you've ever shoveled a decent amount of soil, you know that's not a fun job. So we're hoping that's not gonna happen to us today. We just got our last row in this field all taken care of. Now you notice we have our drip lines pulled a little bit further there on the end. And the reason for that is we want to try and keep it as even as possible on this end, because when it comes time to irrigate, we're going to run a pipe along here and then connect every row into it. It will allow us to water every single one of these rows of mulch at the same exact time, which just makes everything so much easier on all of us. I've been doing this since I was a little boy, so we started to get pretty quick at switching out the little components that we have. This is one of the jobs I've always looked forward to. One, I wouldn't say it's the most fun, but it is interesting. And two, the benefits that we get from this, it's just so much greater than just planting it the conventional way. So I've always enjoyed this ever since I was little, and I've enjoyed the harvest because of it. We just got the call that it's lunchtime, so this is where we're gonna be stopping for now. We have made a lot of progress with all the mulch that we've laid over there, all the way up to this point. We're probably gonna come back later, make a road, and then finish off the rest of this with some mulch. I'm not sure if Dad's got plans to lay any more, but it's looking really good. Really, really good. Let's go, it's time to eat.
Let's get my jacket zipped up. You know, it's only the end of June, end of May.
It's cold out here. You know, it's almost the beginning of June.
Yeah.
Oh my, and we're in jackets. I am hungry. Let's see what we're having. Ooh, it looks like we've got some sausage in here and peppers and fresh fruit. What a deal. And what are you eating over here?
I just ate an orange pumpkin plum.
You're getting a plum? You're eating a lot of fresh fruit? Mm-hmm. Oh, good. Finished off with lunch now, and we've made our way back out to the fields. We're just about all set up and ready to go. The only section that we're gonna be laying it is what we have right here in front of us. The other ground we have set aside is not prepared just yet, but getting these final rows of mulch put into place, oh, that's gonna be a big thing for all of us. We had to change the way we were doing things a little bit. Daniel was at one end and I was at the other end, but he had to go home for a few minutes, so now I'm just going back and forth. It doesn't really change much. It's still a pretty quick process, but now it's just two people doing it. Well, I have to say that went rather smoothly. Dad is finishing up our last row of mulch for the day. I would say that's a decent amount of mulch to get started with. We're definitely gonna have to lay some more, but I'm happy with what we've got here. I don't know who's gonna pick all that spinach.
You are, Andrew.
Oh my goodness. This stuff was watered this morning. Look at that. Look at that lettuce. Our next job that we've got scheduled for us is to do a little bit of transplanting. Here on the back of the side-by-side, we have a few different varieties of lettuce. This is all lettuce that we had seeded just for us. Right here we have some green leaf, we have some red leaf, we have some Simpson leaf lettuce, and then over here we have some long hot leaf lettuce. It's not actually long hot leaf lettuce. That'd be really cool if we had that. This is just tagged incorrectly. Usually we'll take a lot of the lettuce that we had seeded for sales and we'll end up transplanting that. but we don't have anymore. We sold a lot of lettuce this spring. We do have some smaller stuff that we're gonna borrow. I think the only thing we don't have is some romaine lettuce. It didn't come up well for us. So we're gonna grab a few packs of romaine and then we're gonna be good to go. Well, unfortunately, we did not find any romaine lettuce. We must have sold out of it. That's on us. We'll have to do better next time. You know, that's a lot of tractor for that planter.
Yeah.
We're just waiting on a little bit of help to show up. So in the meantime, we're gonna run and grab our little hand seeder and some red beet seed. It feels like today we're just getting a whole bunch of stuff done for Grammy, doesn't it? She's gonna be all excited. Her garden's gonna be planted.
It's gonna rain for 3 days.
Dad's like half excited about the rain. It's been raining a lot lately.
What is this? Detroit dark red. We need that. This is herb dill. We need that.
Beets. Beets. It's got the beet plate in it. We've got our hand seeder. We've got our seed. That looks pretty good.
Beautiful lettuce, dude. Almost makes you want to eat a salad.
As you can see, this is Matthew's first time out transplanting this year. He didn't get too far away from the farm. He is in the garden, but yet he's still out transplanting. Because of the dips and highs in the field, sometimes it won't spin because we're kind of like on a hill here. So what we're just doing is walking out with some of this extra lettuce and just filling in the gaps. My cousin showed up for soybean seed. They need to finish up planting. So we figure rather than getting a whole second row started right away, we're just gonna fill in the gaps with this stuff. Looks really good.
Okay.
Ooh. There we have our 2 rows of lettuce. Now all completed. I do need to run down and grab the spinach because that's what we're gonna be planting next. I forgot to mention this. We're only planting half the planter for the spinach. We're only doing 1 strip of spinach up through the field. This side plants a little bit nicer than the side I was on, so we decided to do it on this one. It's gonna work out great. We're gonna have plenty of spinach, and Grammy's gonna say, boys, you did such a good job at planting the spinach, and that's all we've ever wanted to hear.
And the spinach we're planting is spinach that we were going to sell at the farm market, but it grew a little too fast on us, and it's getting to the point where it needs to get in the ground. So we are taking it and planting it out in the field for us.
We've got all our lettuce planted. We just got the spinach put into the soil. It was so nice of Matthew to come help us for a little bit. That extra help really made this job go a little faster. Now we're gonna be breaking out the hand seeder. The first thing that we're gonna be seeding is some dill, then we're gonna follow it up with some red beets. Make sure this is falling out there. Yeah, looks good. We farm 100 acres of vegetables. This is how we plant our red beets. Well, that should about do it for red beets and dill. We got 1 row of dill planted, and then we got 8 rows of red beets seeded. This area right here we call the garden, probably because it's so close to the farm market. It's a pretty large garden, but we've got lettuce, spinach, dill, and now red beets seeded. We're having a little bit of trouble with this tractor when we're hauling some heavier loads. So what I'm gonna do right now is take this planter over here, get it unhooked, and then I'm taking this tractor down into the shop because we have some people coming to look at it tomorrow. It's been on the cooler side for most of the day. However, this afternoon, the sun has came out. It's warmed up a little bit, and it's shown here in these greenhouses. It's pretty warm in here, and we've had a little bit of trouble with things drying out. So I just went through and watered everything on the ground, and now I'm making sure these baskets got a drink. I'm watering the last of the baskets here in greenhouse number 6. And I stepped outside really quick, and I had a look over on the hill, and all the cattle are out there grazing. What a beautiful sight. Well, everyone, I just got home. Mama has got a good dinner cooked for us on the stove. We have Miss Callie, Mr. Ronnie, and Miss Lily over here eating. Hi, guys. We have reached the end part of our day, so that does mean this is where we're ending the video. We'll see you next time, everyone. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.